Are you a woman of faith or open-minded seeker, wanting to make a difference, but find yourself asking, how can I heal my emotions and overcome the hurt, pain, and regrets of my past? How can I break free from the medical matrix and heal my mind and body holistically? How can I lose weight without losing my joy? How can I live in this world without being consumed by it? How can I have more of God's blessings, miracles, and protection over my life? If you resonate with any of these questions, you are in the right place, my sister. Welcome to the Sharing the Bliss podcast, where we help women of faith soothe their souls, heal their bodies, and live their bliss in a time like this. Join me, Coach Carmen Abercrombie, certified holistic health coach, author, speaker, and founder of Sharing the Bliss, and my co-host, Coach Denise Beecham, the Wellness Diva, on this weekly joyful transformational journey. Because regardless of your current circumstances, your breakthrough begins today. Welcome to the Sharing the Bliss podcast. I'm your host, Coach Carmen.
And I'm Coach Denise.
And today we start a new series entitled Dieting versus Detoxing, What You Really Need to Know. And Coach Denise, I'm very excited about this topic and this series because I believe most people have a misconception about dieting. Mm-hmm. I think the majority of people believe that dieting is the all in all when it comes to losing weight, getting healthier, maybe lowering their medications, because they think that once they change their diet, they're good. That's all they need to do. But there's something that comes before dieting that a lot of people don't understand or really don't know anything about. And that's why we're going to be teaching this series, because we want you to know what detoxing is all about and why it's so important. So, Coach Denise, why don't we just start by having a little bit of an introduction about detoxing first.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay, we can talk about that, and we're going to go back to our trusty phones and going into the Sharing the Bliss website.
Yes.
Where we talk extensively about detoxing and the benefits.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. Okay, so let's face it. Being strong and healthy both physically and emotionally has never been more important, especially in this day and time,
oh my goodness.
Right? Can you agree on that?
Totally.
The good news is we have a secret that your medical doctors will never tell you. You can heal from virtually any illness, mental or physical, with inner cleansing, detoxification, and a living plant-based diet.
Amen.
It's also vital for the prevention of disease and mental dysfunction. Why? Think about it. When someone gets a snake bite, the first thing to do is to remove the venom.
That's right.
That's right. The fact is, it is food more than anything that keeps us connected to the matrix, which is the world.
Yes.
First of all, because it is the gateway to all other addictions and strongholds. And secondly, because it's the most common path down what we call the medical matrix rabbit hole.
Yes.
We are allowing ourselves to be over-medicated, overfed with inorganic toxic food, and undernourished when what we really need is body and soul detoxification and whole organic food.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yes, so I wrote that information to educate those who had no idea why detoxing is so important. It's a lot more involved. It's a lot more in that, and we're going to be reading more of it. But the most important thing that we want to share with you today and throughout this series is that we have an option that's far greater than dieting. And we want to start talking about the pros and cons of dieting because, you know, there's a lot of misconceptions and most people believe that, as I said before, dieting is the answer. Let's talk about the pros and cons because I think there's some things that you need to know. All right. So let's talk about the good things. I think most of us know of all of the pros when it comes to dieting. And we wrote some down here for you. So one of the pros is the fact that it's a quick fix. If you want to lose weight, you can lose weight quickly.
Yes.
And anytime you're going to an important event or something special and you want to lose weight, you can always go on a diet. Yes. So the con is that most programs don't get to the root cause of weight issues. And I think that's one of the reasons why most people go on this yo-yo syndrome, because they never get to the root of why they're gaining weight, and they don't get to the root of how they can keep the weight off for a lifetime, right?
And that's interesting, because that makes me think about emotional eating. You know, when you have stress in your life, or you have a job that's not working out for you, or you have in relationship issues, whatever.
Definitely.
Emotional eating.
Definitely. Emotional eating. Some of the programs now are starting to lean into the mental and emotional issues with dieting.
Yes.
But we all know that if it's not connected to the spirituality, it's not going deep enough. And that's why the last series was about soul detoxing, because we wanted to take you through this journey where we're not starting straight with the food. We have to start with the soul issues. And the programs that do talk about mental issues and emotional issues, mostly with food related weight gain, they usually are very topical with it. They don't get down to the spiritual piece.
Yes.
And that's what we do.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's the issue.
Right. And most of those programs, they're not plant-based. We know that a plant-based diet definitely contributes to healing on not just the surface level, but cellular levels and everything. You know,
yes.
a plant-based diet goes deep.
Definitely.
And so these particular, you know, diets that we're talking about don't focus on that plant-based diet. They're still focused on the standard American diet,
Yep.
you know, including meat, potatoes, and things like that. So because it's not plant-based, it's not particularly very healing. While it may help you to lose weight, it's not promoting healing, because it's not a plant-based diet, which basically brings us to our next point, which it focuses on weight loss, but not healing.
Right. So focusing on weight loss and not healing is very, very important to consider. You know, I mean, there's lots of ways you can lose weight, but is that your main issue? Or would you rather be able to get rid of health issues? You know, so we want to get to the root. We're always talking about getting to the root of what's causing the bad fruit. Otherwise, it's not sustainable, because you're always going to have those issues come back up on you. And you're going to have to continue to find a way to lose weight, to get healthy on a level that is not going to bring you the true health that you're looking for. And I like to use the example of when you have a car and the car is old, it's rusty, and it really needs a lot of body work. So you take it to a place where they're going to paint the car, so you get a paint job. And you feel like, wow, my car is painted, I'm looking good, I'm feeling good. But how long does that really last when you have rust underneath that paint? The rust is going to start to eat through that paint eventually, right? If you have peels and pieces of the old paint from when it was first painted 40 years ago, maybe 20, however old the car is, those pieces of paint that's peeling off, they're going to start to continue to peel off over that paint that you just painted. And now you have pieces of the paint that's ripped off, and you can see the old paint underneath.
Yes.
It's a mess. Well, that's what happens with us when we continue to go on these diets before we clean out our bodies. Right? So I'm not going to spill too many of the beans right now about how amazing detoxing is and the big difference, but I do want to just use that analogy to get you to think. All right, so the next con would be the fact that most diets don't focus on GMOs, they don't focus on inorganic foods and how important not having all of those chemicals in your body really is. So they're giving you food options that are healthier than pizzas and hot dogs and going to the fast food restaurant,
Yes.
but they're not giving you the next level, which is eating clean, eating without all the chemicals. One thing about Sharing the Bliss and what we do, we are very, very passionate about educating people and getting them to understand that the GMOs and the food that is inorganic has a lot to do with many of the diseases that are relatively new, because we didn't have all these chemicals back in the day. Now all of a sudden we have leaky gut and so many diseases that our great-grandparents had no idea about. They knew nothing about it because they weren't an issue.
Right.
You know, so it's very important that if you're going to diet, that you should also sustain from foods that are filled with chemicals and GMOs.
Absolutely.
Right? And
Absolutely.
which are genetically engineered organisms.
Right. Exactly. And let's talk about the fact that sometimes those particular diets can be addictive. Like they can be addictive, meaning that they create that yo-yo effect.
Yeah.
Because if the food that you're eating on these diets are not sustainable, or you can't stay on that particular food until a certain amount of time, you have to actually, discontinue eating it. What happens? You end up gaining the weight again, and then you have to go back to that diet. So it's like a back and forth. So you can't get a balance. You can't seem to get a type of a balance that you need to have that steady weight that you're looking for.
Right,
You
which
know,
is
your healthy weight. You can't
exactly
keep it. You can't keep it because as soon as you remove yourself from that diet, your weight is going to go back up again.
Once you stop, you're going to gain the weight back. And then you start again and you gain the weight back.
Yes.
And you go back and forth. And that's the yo-yo thing. You know, we introduce a lifestyle that omits certain things, but we give you a beautiful option that is sustainable because it's enjoyable and it makes you feel like you don't need that negative alternative that you used to go to, your go-to food that was not supporting you.
Right.
But if there's a program that offers a certain type of packaged food where you can only get through them, you're really stuck because you have no other choice but to go back to them whenever you want to lose weight or get to your healthy weight.
Right.
I want to mention get to your healthy weight because that term is something that God had given me, and I'm sure other people are using it or have used it, but I know that was what God gave me to share with those I was called to serve, to talk about a healthy weight as opposed to losing weight and gaining weight. You know, I want to lose weight, I need to gain weight. How about get to your healthy weight? And what's healthy for one sister is not healthy for another. You know, a big bone sister would look sick and emaciated in my body, you know, because their body wasn't designed to be this small. But then you have large women who really, their bodies weren't designed to be that large. So that's not their healthy weight. If I gained 10 pounds, that would not be my healthy weight. So what is your healthy weight? You need to find that out. And once you know that, then you have to consider, am I dieting because I want to look like someone else? Or am I dieting because I want to get to my healthy weight?
Right.
Many women don't even know what their healthy weight is. And that's a problem because you're trying to fit your body into a frame that wasn't designed to be in.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And I think that's a problem for a lot of women, not knowing exactly what their healthy weight is. Now, for me, I know when I'm at my healthy weight because my body feels like it's working at its optimum. And then I know I'm good. If I start gaining weight, I'm going to get pain in my knees. I'm going to get back pain. I'm not going to sleep well. I'm going to get tired easier. Soon as I get back down to that level healthy weight, I have energy.
Yes.
I have no pain in my knees. There's no back issues. and I can stay awake. So that's how I know. So usually for me, it's when I feel that my body is working at its optimum.
Yes.
And I'm sure it's that way for a lot of other people
Most people,
also.
yes.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. And so I really think that that's the first step in considering whether you are focusing on the right thing or not. Find out what your healthy weight is. Then you can be at your healthy weight, but your body could be sick inside.
Yes.
Right? So being sick inside is different from what's going on the outside. Sometimes being sick inside is going to show up on the outside. That's what happened to me. And that's what usually happens to me. But the good thing is your body will tell you when it's not well, generally. We overlook it, we ignore it, and keep on going. But we usually know when something isn't right. The question is a diet going to deal with that? And sometimes, as we said, diets can get you to the point where your numbers are lower. But are you healing that dis-ease? And if you're eating a sad diet, you're never going to heal that way. It is what it is. That's why we want to continue to share with you the importance of understanding the difference between dieting and detoxing.
Yes.
If you want to get to your healthy weight, and if you want to heal your body from the inside out, if you want to have more peace in your mind and be free from any mental oppressions, you're going to have to clean out your body and clean out your blood by detoxing. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so let's get back in here and go over some other things.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so we're continuing on in the Sharing the Bliss website, talking about detoxing. So there's a scripture that I added to this information that I think is really important for us to read. And it is Romans 12:1-2. I beseech you, therefore, my brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And again, that's why we started off with the soul detoxing series, because it's here first.
Yes.
You can go on all kinds of diets, but if you don't get renewed in your mind, you're never going to change your body for the long term. It's not going to last because you haven't dealt with your mind. So if you haven't gone back to, or if you've never seen or watched the previous episodes that we had 4 episodes on soul detoxing. Definitely go back and watch those episodes or listen to them, because they're going to prepare you for what we're going to be talking about now, which is the diet piece. So many people want to jump into the diet piece before they deal with the soul piece. You notice that, Coach Shanice, even when we do the 28-day body and soul detox, people want to jump right into the food and they want to just ignore or just brush off the soul work. And those who do that usually don't have as much success with the detox.
Right, that's true. That's true.
Those who go in with the soul work, those are the ones that not only have more success, but they have long-term success. They will do the detox again and do it again and again, but they're doing it again because they want to get to the next level and the next level.
Right.
From glory to glory, if you will. Right? So this scripture says it all. Renewing the mind. We have to renew the mind and not be so quick to find another diet.
Exactly. Right? And that's probably why a lot of people are caught up in those diets, because of the fact that they have not gone beyond the surface.
Yeah.
Right? They have not gone beyond the surface.
Absolutely. So we'll continue on
Okay.
reading that detoxing is a way of starting over. It's giving your body and soul, which is your mind, will, and emotions, a fresh start. It begins the process of rebuilding and renewing by deleting old bad programs and replacing them with new healthy ones. The old programs that carry viruses, diseases, feed their information into the cells in every part of the body, including the brain cells. So that's not a good thing, that those old negative programs, those diseased programs, are feeding information into every cell of our bodies, including our brains. But that does make you think, Coach Denise, when we talk about the mind, will, and emotions, the brain is being affected, and that's why I believe a lot of people have mental and emotional issues due to their diet.
It's interesting.
Yeah, and that's not going to change by going on a diet. That's not going to change. Those viruses, those diseases in our bodies that may even be dormant for a while are not going to stay dormant forever. And eating food that represents a sad diet, that it's not going to fight those bad bugs and those bad cells and viruses.
And that makes me think, even if you're eating the food that you are advised to eat when you're on a diet, if those foods still are inorganic and containing GMOs, that means it's still going into your body. But even more significant to me is that you're eating more of it now, because you're eating the fruits and the vegetables and the salads and things like that. So you're putting more of that into your body.
Yeah, if you're eating that.
If you
Most people are eating more of the starches and the meat and a bit of the vegetables in the salad.
Oh, goodness.
Yes.
Well, I was speaking in relation to the diets that teach you how to eat the leafy greens and things like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but you're right, if they're eating that. But I'm only trying to make that connection between, even though if you're on a diet, if the food that you're eating is still containing those chemicals, you're still going to get that same reaction that you just spoke about here.
Yeah, no, you're so right. Mm-hmm. Because when I was healing from that blood illness I had to stay away from all of the foods that were not organic. Because when I had my blood tested, the specialist, who was a dark field microscopy specialist, she saw so many pesticides, so many herbicides, and all of these chemicals in my body. My blood was filled with them. And that was because I was eating a lot of food that was, fresh organic food, but they were laden with pesticides. They were GMOs.
So oh wow. See, you know why I'm in total agreement with that? Because when I had fibroids, this was years before I had the surgery, and I went to my doctor and she told me that I needed to change my diet to include more leafy greens and fruits and vegetables. And I know at the time I would have a salad here or a salad there, but I wasn't really consuming a lot of it.
Right.
And so I took her at her word and I started including, more leafy greens into my diet. And for a minute, and I'm going to say a minute, I felt better. Mm-hmm. But then after a few months, the fibroids continued to grow. And what I didn't know, and I'm sure at the time my doctor didn't know, is that when she advised me to eat more of those leafy greens, that I was actually pulling more of the chemicals that fed the fibroids into my body.
Because she did not suggest that they be organic and non-GMO.
She may not have even known that.
And most no doctors I know of or ever heard of from my clients, and definitely no diet programs, the general ones that we see on television, most people know about, they don't address the GMOs and all of the chemicals that's in the food due to the sprays and all of the, it's just horrible when you find out that even one apple can have like over 100 pesticides in it. So holistic is what we're talking about. But then there's even levels of that, because some people will say, well, I'm holistic because I'm eating fruits and vegetables, but are they organic? If they're not organic, then you're not truly holistic.
I was gonna say I wouldn't consider that holistic. And keep in mind, you cannot wash off a GMO. You cannot wash that.
Exactly.
You can scrub forever, and it will never happen because it's within the seed.
It's in the seed.
It's in the seed, so
Absolutely.
you can't wash that off.
And we're going to talk more about this moving forward because we can get on such a soapbox about organic versus GMO and the number 4 versus the number 9, right? And it's very important. We're going to talk about it because it is extremely important. It's something that most people don't talk about when they are helping you to get healthy with food.
Right.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to bring that up because to me that's important because a lot of people don't make that connection when they're trying to eat healthier and wonder why after a few months they're starting to feel sick again.
Exactly. One quick example of that, another one, I just have to bring this up, it came up in my spirit. I had a girlfriend whose husband had liver disease, cirrhosis of the liver, and he was pretty sick. Somehow he got the information that he should be eating more fruits and vegetables. And I was encouraging her to speak to him about that, but I was saying, eat organic fruits and vegetables. But he had it was like some type of truck that was in the city by his job. And he would go there every day and he would have a smoothie, he would have a fruit salad, and he was doing well for a while. But I was so concerned because I was telling her he really needs to be eating organic. I'm so glad he's eating the fruits and vegetables, every day, and he's drinking a smoothie, but it's not organic. And unfortunately, the liver disease came back, and it came back very strong, and he ended up passing. And I truly believe that if he had just changed that one thing and started to make his own juices, because back then there was not any organic juice bars around, or organic vegetable places. You couldn't even find organic vegetables in the supermarket at that time. You had to go to a health food store. But if he was able to make his own and bring it to work, I believe that he would have lived, because the liver has so much to do with trying to clean out the body. And if you're adding more and more of those pesticides, herbicides, germicides, and GMOs in that body, then what's happening, that organ is doing everything it can to try to get rid of the old stuff, all the old food you've been eating all those years, and now you're adding like 10 times the amount of chemicals back into your body, and it can't take it because it's sick. His liver was already sick.
He was already sick. And then he increased the chemicals. That's what happened to me. I increased the chemicals when I started eating plant-based, inorganic, raw food. The skin disease was like crazy. It was coming from my blood disease. The skin was abnormal. The eczema was crazy. And it just got worse and worse and worse. Once I switched over to organic, my husband and I realized after we had the blood work done that we had to go organic. We found a farm in Jersey and we had the food shipped because, like I said, the supermarkets didn't even have organic food. So we had the boxes shipped every week, and that's what started to get me healthy. See that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No diet would have done that. I could have gotten on one of those diet plans. I could have gotten on any of the diet plans I would have gotten on at that time would not have healed me. No. It would not have saved me. What saved me was cleaning out my blood, was detoxing my body.
And so that just brings us back to what we were speaking of. The diets do not focus on healing aspects. No. They focus on weight loss.
Yeah.
And while that's a good thing, the weight loss is a good thing, if there is some type of underlying issue going on, that diet is not going to focus on that.
No.
It's not going to focus on healing from that.
No. You may say, like we said, you may see some changes in your numbers. But if you have diabetes and you are, your numbers are really off, it's only going to help you change those numbers a bit. But it's not going to heal you until you get to the root.
Yes.
Which is very important.
Very important.
Yeah. So we're going to end there because there's so much we can share with you right now, but we don't want to overwhelm you.
We'll do that next week.
Yeah, we'll overwhelm you next week. But you can see where we're going, right? It's just super exciting and very interesting. It's super exciting to know that we have an option that can not only help us to lose weight, get to our healthy weight, and to heal our bodies and our emotions. Yes, that's right. We talked about the soul detox, and the soul detoxing included all of the exercises to heal and soothe your soul. But it is so important that you understand that your diet can help you with that as well. That's right. Cleaning out your body, cleaning out your blood will help you to clean out your mind. That's just how it is.
Hallelujah.
High five, Coach Shanice. Isn't that exciting?
Yes.
That is so exciting. It really, really is. And we are looking forward to sharing the rest with you. Part 2 next week. And we have some goodies that we wanted to share with you too. So make sure you get the free download that's connected with this episode and this entire series, right? So you go down below wherever you are watching, or if you're listening on any of the podcast platforms, there's a link that will get you to the freebie that will support you. All right, because we always want to give you something that's going to help you take it to the next level. Not just head knowledge. We want to do the work so God can make it work.
Amen.
All right? Okay, we love you, and we'll see you next week.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
I hope you were blessed by this episode. If so, please be a blessing by liking and subscribing so that we can reach more sisters like you. Be sure to click the link in the show notes to download this episode's juicy free resource. And let's stay connected. Join our Sacred Self-Care Sisterhood Facebook group with daily inspiration for your body and soul, designed to awaken the kingdom heiress you truly are. Like our business page, where you can join me live for weekly food demos, self-care tips, and emotional healing support. Visit the website for a complete list of our programs and support tools. Beloved, life doesn't get better by simply praying. It gets better by receiving the support you need to get what you've been praying for. Set up your complimentary health and wellness support call by simply filling out my health and wellness assessment form and scheduling your call. See all details in the show notes below. And remember, you can soothe your soul, heal your body, and live your bliss in a time like this.